no good. Rebounded by Anthony. 2 seconds left. Anthony for the win. Cody rolls it. Cole Anthony gives the Magic a victory.
Close-up Magic.
All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Close-Up Magic. I'm your host, Stephen Cameron. And as always, we got Malik Grady. Do not be confused with Mr. Wayne Brady. It is Malik Grady. Malik, what's going on, man? How you doing today?
Not much. We're in the dog days of summer, the good times, the nice vibes, the sweaty armpits, Magic basketball.
How are you getting through the summer right now? The dog days. I mean, there's no real news coming out. I mean, we got some things to come out, little trinkles here and there starting to flow, but it's not like we have the draft. It's not like we have, training camp, all of our signings are done. How are you getting by the summer right now?
Well, first of all, when you have two kids that are, both in the age they are, every day kind of takes care of itself unless you take care of it, like everything goes through. But beyond that, living in a college town, living in the home of the Florida Gators, the ramping up of college football has started, a lot of recruiting stuff going on, guys starting to get on campus. I'm a big Broncos fan. Training camp for that has been happening. So a lot of exciting stuff as far as that's concerned. And then still trying to eke out a little bit of Magic news here and there, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a good time for me. I'm not a baseball guy, so I'm always trying to find a way to not have to worry about baseball. And I'm successfully doing that now with football coming up, with the Franz brothers coming up later on in the fall, some World Cup stuff, and also, I'm not at a lack of things to look for, but I do miss the Magic.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I personally use this time to refresh. I step away from sports for a little bit. Maybe I'll go to an A's game because they play right down the road for me. I do enjoy baseball, but I don't use this time to try and find something sports related. It's a nice disconnect for me. NFL isn't going at the moment. I'm not, and I used to be an NFL diehard. Dude, I was like training camp updates, all that stuff. I don't care about any of that. I'll watch some games here and there during the season. But I'm not trying to, I just try and refresh during this time. And granted,
it's much healthier what you're doing,
I got a 4-month-old right now too, and she's a blast. I'm having a good time with that. But there's some Magic stuff to talk about. That there's always going to be a little something. We got a great summer plan for our listeners and viewers of the show. To keep you guys all entertained and keep us entertained, honestly, because even though I say I use this time to reset, I'm still just as addicted to Magic basketball as all of you. Before we get to that, let's get to the housekeeping. As always, we just re-signed. We're re-signing our new contract with 19 Media Group. We just had another, we had our first full year with them. We're going into our next period of contract with 19 Media Group. They're awesome. Just check them out. They have some really cool stuff coming up this season. They got a little bit of everything on the network. They have non-sports podcasts, they have sports podcasts, they have wrestling podcasts, all sorts of good stuff. So check them out, 19mediagroup.com. Other thing
I did have to give up the naming rights if I ever do have another child with this next contract. So a little bit of a contractual obligation for that, but it's worth it. It's
okay.
It,
It's okay. We can't break it, and we'll be fine. We'll be all right. The next thing that we need to discuss is you all as listeners and what you're doing for us in this show. Not what you're doing for us, but what we would hopefully like you to do. If you're watching this on YouTube, just go ahead and click that subscribe button. Just do that now, or wherever I end up editing in the button. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you also, if you're listening to it in podcast form, just go ahead and leave us a review. Definitely helps. We have a new preferred podcast platform that we are connected with is Good Pods. They're dope. There'll be more about that connection and what it's all about a little bit later. But the main thing to take away is with Good Pods is that it's kind of like a community aspect of podcasting and really allows you to have full customization over your platform, how you have your podcast feed. It's really neat. So go ahead, check them out. They're really dope. They have a lot of really good, like top 100 this, top 100 that, different types of categories for podcasters or for podcasts. So check out Good Pods. I want to point something out. I'm wearing a jersey. There's a reason why. I don't wear jerseys normally. I'm not a jersey guy, but I know there's a lot of people like, oh, wear a jersey, wear a jersey. I'm not a jersey guy, right? It's just not my thing. But I'm wearing one because I want to try and be a jersey guy if I can. I feel like Paolo is going to be someone worthy of buying a jersey at some point. Here's the thing, dude. I don't think most players in the NBA are worthy of me giving that team my money to buy their jersey. Cause like, I'm not going to wear just some mediocre name on the back of my jersey. Right. Like, no disrespect. I'm never going to buy a Chumo Kiki jersey. Not saying he's mediocre, but he ain't Paolo impact, right? This is a Penny Hardaway jersey.
Big time.
Yeah. And so the Magic haven't had guys big time enough in years for me to even consider it, right? This jersey was a gift from mine. I can't say if it's authentic or not, likely not. But the first and only authentic jersey I actually have is a Vince Carter jersey from when he was on the team in 2010. So I'm trying it out because I have good feelings about Paolo. He had some exciting things happen recently, but this is why I'm wearing a jersey. Malik, are you a jersey guy?
Well, I want to be a jersey guy. Just much like yourself, as you say, you want to be a jersey guy, but they're so expensive. Is the biggest thing for me. I kind of often with other sports, I've kind of embraced either getting the gift jersey or embracing getting the leftover on the rack bargain used kind of one. So like
players no longer Magic, on the team half off.
Exactly.
So like you could go buy an Aaron Gordon jersey today, a season and a half
absolutely.
Later.
And I would wear it proudly. I love the ironic nature of wearing the jersey that says when and where, how cheap you are, what kind of person you are. So yes. I like how you're embracing, hey, Hall of Famers only, big time guys only. Me,
Hall of Famers owner.
I would love to have
Chinese knockoff only
jersey, a Matt Harpering jersey. If I could get a Fran Vasquez jersey, oh my God, that would be the penultimate.
Did they ever
the guy
make
who never
one?
Played for us. That's what I'm saying.
You'd have to get a custom.
He never played for us. I mean, those are the type of things that I would want, like the guys that were maybe not bums, but the guys that really shows your level of fandom, that kind of weirdness and stuff. So I like that you're on the opposite side of things. Once again, we're great friends, a lot of respect, a lot of love, but diametrically opposed on certain things, which I love,
What? Okay. If you were going to buy a jersey of a current Magic player that's on this roster going into next season, who would it be?
Well, I got my jersey, like the shirt jersey. I got Suggs. I'm a big fan of Suggs. Other ones I would consider would be like Cole Anthony.
Yeah.
A lot of my daughter loves Cole Anthony. Like she can say by heart his two kind of catchphrases, his whole like facts. Shout out to Mo Bamba.
That's
like,
funny.
All that stuff, like, and she'll say it, and it's hilarious. And like, because he's had so many times where he's like, yeah. Like she can do that one as well. So to wear that jersey and have her have a little Anthony jersey and stuff, that's probably the one I would do. I love Franz. I love the idea of Franz. I like the whole, international pride, a German guy coming up and that kind of stuff. I wish he's more active on social media so he kind of be out there a little more. Paolo is very tempting because he is out there. He's getting the attention, as we'll talk about later. He has that buzz. The veteran players are talking about him. He has that flash, this man child out there and stuff. But like I said, I think Cole Anthony, his charisma, even my wife, we watched when he got drafted and seeing his mom and the family crying and happy and him being overcome with emotion, getting drafted, and then Spike Lee, giving in courtside seats and him dapping up his brother. Like there's such a story.
You love this story.
I really want. I'm all about the story. I'm all about the narrative. And that's what I want. I vote with my heart. I want Cole Anthony to be great because his story is so great. He's such a charismatic, loving young man and stuff. So that's probably the jersey that I would go for because I want the story to pan out.
Sure. Yeah, no, that does make a lot of sense. I think I would go with.
And that's me. I'm sappy. You know what I'm saying?
You're so sappy, but you embrace it, and that's okay. At least you understand. I feel like I would be going with. I'm going with a sleeper pick, man. I think today I'm going with Wendell Carter Jr.
Okay.
Here's the reason why. Yeah, I'm wearing a Penny jersey, and yeah, I had a Vince Carter jersey. But at the same point, like, everyone's gonna have a Paolo jersey. So it would be kind of cool to. It's not quite like the Franz Vasquez and like all those other players you just named that like are really under the radar. But it's like I feel like if I bought a Wendell Carter jersey today, he might be the second or third most important player on our team next year. And going forward, he's so skilled. He's easily, by the end of the season could be a top 6 center in the league. So it's not like, I'm not saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he could be the next all-star next to Boncaro, possibly.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
I don't know. Maybe I'll get a Paolo. We'll see. All right. Let's get into this, man. Tweet of the week. I'm going to go first, then I'll let you go a little bit later. I'm shouting out my Orlando Magic Top Shot community, packs and pinstripes. If you're an NBA Top Shot collector and you're a Magic fan, get involved with the Magic community. It's really active. I know they're getting ready to do their first in-person event where they're getting a suite for an Orlando City game, all-inclusive suite. And like all you got to do is be a part of the group. It's pretty cool. And you can get access to those types of giveaways and events. The specific tweet I'm shouting out is from our page, and it shouts out a collector, Just Gliding, who is also Orlando Magic player history, that account, who is constantly coming up with the cool stats of past players and current players, right?
Okay, got you.
Yeah. Jay is a huge Orlando Magic Top Shot collector. He actually just crossed over 2,000 Orlando Magic moments on NBA Top Shot. So that's pretty cool.
That's how many he owns, you mean?
Yes, he owns, for those that don't know what Top Shot is, digital playing cards. He owns 2,000 digital playing cards of Orlando Magic. And yeah, he's definitely gone for the volume route of his collection. He's got a pretty deep collection of good stuff too, but yeah, it's pretty crazy. So shout out to Jay for becoming the most collected volume number of Magic collection moments, which is pretty dope. So yeah, what is your tweet of the week?
Well, my tweet of the week, it's from Twitter handle JR90 Solar Bear, good friend Joey, who put out the poll question: who will the Magic most likely run the offense through this coming season? He adds Orlando Magic, adds Or Magic Daily, ESPN, and he puts Franz, Markel, Paolo, and WCJ, all guys that last year, or a couple of guys that showed some great aptitude with the ball last year, and then 2 newcomers to this upcoming year with Paolo and obviously Markel having a full healthy season. And the reason why it's my tweet of the week is just so excited that basically 2 of the 4 guys on here, guys that really weren't part of the main team last year, in Paolo and Markel. And obviously, as of right now, they're kind of the 2 top vote getters. But beyond that, you also have guys like Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, also on the team, who are playmakers who can get the ball to other people and that kind of stuff. It's kind of an embarrassment of riches to have 6 guys who can handle, pass, get guys involved, get themselves some shots and stuff. It's just very exciting to see that and all. So that's the reason why it was my tweet of the week.
Cool. All right, man. Hit it next. Let's go.
Well, other thing is, as we talk about actual news and stuff, I'm a little more interested about this than Steven is. But our latest 2-way player, Kevon Harris.
I'm excited about Kevon Harris. He seems cool.
Oh yeah, I think I'm a little more fired up than you are, which is understandable. This is a fringe roster thing. It's not even on the full roster type of thing. But the Magic put out an all-access video, but a little mini one, like a minute and a half, and it showed his signing him getting to shake hands with Weltman, and then Mosley coming by and giving him the big time, fist bump and hug with his huge hands and that kind of thing, and just seeing how happy he was and how fired up he was to be part of the Magic. But also, as reported by Keith Smith, realized that Kevon Harris actually signed a 2-year two-way deal rather than just the normal 1-year deal, which maybe means the Magic have a little, greater plans for him in the future, maybe a little more commitment to him as being part of Lakeland, that kind of thing. Even though it's a small deal and all, it's just interesting to see a guy that the Magic maybe believe in. And I think that he's going to be maybe a little more part of the Magic in the coming year or so when it's all said and done. Maybe because the Magic make a consolidation trade and he kind of moves up the ladder a little bit. Maybe because he really kind of helps guys develop in Lakeland and all. But I don't know. I got a good feeling about this guy. Hard worker, athletic guy, worked his way up. And also, I'm always looking for the underdog. I'm always looking for the next story. So it kind of caught my eye.
I want to clarify something. You say you are more interested in this than I am. It's not true. I find Kevon Harris, the two-way player, and the signing to be very, very interesting. If you remember last week, he was my tweet of the week that we filled that roster spot with him. The part that I do not find interesting is the all access 1 minute and 30-second video that showed him smiling, signing a paper and slapping up, Coach Mosley and Jeff Weltman. Like, it's cool, but you ask any player how they're feeling in that moment, they're like, "Oh, I'm excited. Can't wait to get out there and work."
Love it every time, Steven.
Come
I love
on.
it every time.
It's fine. It's fine. I just whatever.
His mama watched that video. She crying.
I don't care about his mama. Hey, my moms.
Steven doesn't like mamas. I just don't understand it. I don't get it, man.
Dude, I am invested in people that I know on that personal level. Other people, I don't care. It's all good, man. It's all good.
Oh man.
But no, I think it's a great signing. I love that it's a 2-year deal, probably some non-guarantees on the second year. But in general, I think it's cool that they found someone that they're invested in enough to give him 2 years and not just one. Which is cool. I think that's great. He seems like a really nice, as we talked about yesterday, athletic wing with size. Like, dope.
And he's had good shooting numbers in college, good shooting numbers so far in his career. So hopefully, the Magic needs shooters now, especially that they have, mentioned before, all those playmakers. You re-sign Gary Harris, you re-sign Mo Bamba. You have these guys that they hopefully can shoot. Hopefully Terrence Ross turns around his awful season from last year. Just guys that can spread the floor from all these guys that can distribute the ball. So we'll see.
I hope he never plays a seriously meaningful minute of basketball. And I only say that this year, and I only say that because if he's on the floor this year in a meaningful way, he's either taken a really unexpected developmental path, or our guys are broken to the extent that our two-ways are getting meaningful times. I don't want meaningful minutes from two-ways.
I don't want meaningful, but I wouldn't mind. Oh my gosh, the Magic are blowing people out. Kevon Harris.
Oh yeah,
the virtual victory cigar is out there again.
He'll get minutes. Yeah, he'll get minutes that way. That'll be great.
Yeah, so, that would be cool.
Because
we're blowing guys out so much.
Yeah,
exactly.
All right. Let's get to the Paolo news. The stuff that people really want to hear about. Paolo, he signed with a shoe deal. He signed a shoe deal. We were talking about this with the Ozone Crew a few weeks ago when we were on their show. He signed with Jordan Brand, and I freaking love that. Jordan, one of the most iconic players in the league ever. They've kind of not had like the greatest players on their roster over the years, but I feel like they're kind of like shifting into a new generation.
Or the greatest shoes necessarily.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't ball that hard. Like, dude, I'm playing horse and like shooting around and having fun. Like, I'm not like an athlete.
No, what I mean in terms of like, they're not the big shoes that you hear about people wanting these signature shoes necessarily yet. You hear about other shoes.
I mean, Jordans are like one of the most collected shoes out there.
Jordan, the Jordan signature ones. I got you.
Yeah. But yeah, and even performance wise for basketball, like I would have no idea. Like I play basketball, but I don't play to the extent where I'm like, I can feel the difference in performance from one shoe to another. I play in Dame's mid tops, by the way. That's what I play, and I'm an Adidas guy. But anyways, regardless, I don't care about that stuff. That's not why we're here. We're here to talk about he signed with Jordan, and that is dope. The roster, dude, they have Luka, I think they have Zion, they have Tatum. They got this next young up and coming generation, which I just think is amazing.
Yeah,
and,
it's a nice company to be part of.
Yeah, man. Like dude, Zion stays healthy, Luka stays healthy, like Jason Tatum, like these guys are ballers. It's so cool to be with kind of in that group of people where, like, you know, I'm sure Adidas and Nike and Reebok are going to sign some big names that are come up in that and this next generation as well. But like, man, this core group that Jordan has right now is sick. So, you think, how long you think it'll take him to get a signature shoe, Malik?
Well, I didn't realize this, but I guess this is just now Luka has released his signature shoe. I'm not sure when he signed with Jordan. I don't know if it was when he first came to the league, but obviously this is he's been in the league for quite a while now, and just now getting his shoe. So I guess it takes time. You don't want to put out certain things, and obviously this is what Zion, that was his third year, and he had his shoe last year. So it does take a little bit of time, but
totally,
so
it takes probably a year or so to develop.
A year or two, yeah. I think the Ozone guys were what I was pointing out is that they were saying that most of these signature shoes have not necessarily been the ones that have captured the imagination of shoe buyers. I mean, they're obviously more shoe hounds than we are, but there hasn't been a Jordan signature shoe that's like, oh man, we got to give this one, it's blowing everything up. But that's not really the point. Like you're saying, being part of an elite company, other great stars, that's just nice for the Magic and for Paolo.
Totally.
You know, you could get that kind of exposure. And if he actually does have a cool shoe, that would be awesome, you know, because that gives you more exposure. The kids are wearing it. Hey, I'm wearing a Paolo shoe, that kind of thing.
But you got to think too, like in a couple of years when Kyrie's out of the league, when Harden's out of the league, you know, I mean, like when there's still going to be people that buy their shoes, but you're going to want to, who are the main guys on the court that are playing that have signature shoes out there that you can go buy? Like they're going to get more hype that way too and get some love that way. So that'll be cool too. Cool. The next thing that I want to bring up is Paolo dropping 50, bro. Paolo dropping 50 in the Jamal Crawford crossover Pro-Am. Yeah, the crossover Pro-Am event in Seattle this past weekend. Paolo's from Seattle. What do you take away from a Pro-Am event? Are there things you can take away? Because to me, it's like there's even less to take away than like Summer League, probably even less to take away than like those Black Op runs that happen in like New York, you know, or LA, wherever they happen.
Well, I think that there's a couple things. One, let's look back at what's around it, is that usually these games, like the crossover, some of these things, you'll get highlights later. You maybe have some streams of it, but this one was actually streamed live on the NBA app.
That was cool. Interest. That was new. That was cool.
Yeah. So now, obviously, some of that's just the nature of the times, that things always go up in terms of interest, and that more and more things, if these guys were golfing, at some point, people are going to want to stream it in the coming years. Like, hey, they want content. But that said, for right now, for this to be one of the first ones to be streamed on the NBA app and have it be kind of broadcast, hopefully that shows the interest in Paolo himself. Obviously, he was playing with Chet Holmgren, the number 2 pick, so have those kind of guys playing together. And also Jaden McDaniels, another NBA player. He actually had 52 in the game against them. So there was an interest in those kind of guys. From the game itself, you know, guys are really playing defense. It's kind of a one-on-one type of thing, but you do get to see their athletic skills on display. You see how the crowd responds to them. Like obviously both Jaden and Paolo are both Seattle guys. So whenever they did something, the crowd was going wild. It was just a nice vibe. People enjoying themselves on a July, seeing, you know, Chet erase shots, that kind of thing. And, you know, I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing Paolo and Chet go head to head. Maybe this was a taste of seeing on the same court. Maybe it's going to be our national game coming up in the fall. We will see. You know, just kind of whetting the appetite for that, because again, we have not seen them face off against each other except when they did in college and stuff. So those are kind of things I take away, that Paolo's great, Chet's great. These guys are exciting players that excite the imagination, But beyond that, you're not exactly taking scouting reports from this type of thing. But he was definitely, and also Paolo was hitting the shots again. One of the questions we had about Paolo was how consistent will the shot be off the dribble? Well, the brother was nailing them. With one time he kind of pulled up just past the logo, off the dribble, nailing threes. Again, no one's covering him. It's just practice basically and stuff. But you rather see that than airball embarrassment.
Yeah.
It's nice to make it. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, I mean, and you're right. There's not a lot to take away from this game as far as like, it's like he's going up against NBA players that are trying, right? You know, like
just vibes,
Chet Holmgren, yes, they're in the NBA. But it's like, the rest of the guys, like, I mean, there's high school kids out there. There's, other guys just trying to make the league. There's all sorts of all sorts of random, people on this court. But it's, I mean, it's fun. I loved watching that dunk where the whole backboard, because they're playing an old high school gym where the hoop is hanging from the ceiling, the whole backboard swinging. That was kind of fun. The logo shots were cool. I didn't watch the game. I'll be honest. I'm not. Yeah. I'm married with a kid. I got better things to do on a weekend than tune into a pro amateur event on a Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it played. I just watched the highlights. But it's cool. It's cool to see him doing these things and whatnot. I know there's some controversy in the beginning where it's like, oh, he's getting cut from summer league, but he's going to go play these pro-ams. Like, dude, they're going to play pickup no matter what, right? This is not a NBA organized event where the Magic have control. So glad he had fun. Glad he went out there and did the thing. Kind of funny to see him and Chet Helmgren. What's his name? I forget. He's not that important to me. Showing up their ice together. That was kind of fun. They obviously like hung out afterwards. Hit the town or whatever. So that was cool. It's
funny. Jonathan was pointing out Chet's dress as well. Just kind of how weird the way he kind of dresses. So I maybe that's another kind of connection to him and Bobo for you. These kind of guys that are so rich, but somehow look a little odd in their clothes and stuff and all. But it's just fun to see them enjoying themselves and having these young stars kind of connect a little bit and stuff. So I like it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's all I got for my part of this episode. Do you have anything else you'd like to wrap us up with, Mr. Malik Grady?
Well, the one thing last week, as you know, we talked with Luke.
We broke news
who's
last week.
Yeah, Luke is a big. It's from Australia, and I was researching our Australian connections. Nathan Spencer, our strength and conditioning coach, being one of them. And in the course of looking at that, I was able to kind of break the news, so to speak, that hadn't been reported, still kind of hasn't been reported, that the Magic strength and conditioning coach Nathan Spencer left the team in May, and the Magic hired a new strength coach 2 weeks ago. By the name of Todor Pandov, guy that had done some stuff in college, quite a few years, was with the Wizards, and was with the Sixers for the last 5 or 6 years. Pretty well respected, that kind of thing. But honestly, I mean, I don't know what I was thinking. I when I found it, I was like, I need to keep it quiet. We're going to break it on the podcast. They get all these retweets, and there's going to be articles and stuff. But instead, there's kind of just been tumbleweeds and like kind of just, I don't know, just showing my place in Magic newsdom, so to speak. Like I break news and it's like, oh, well, maybe we'll get to that someday. Who cares? I was like, okay, I guess that's how things roll for me. But it was kind of an ego deflating type thing. But it's all good stuff. It is July, but I thought people would be more interested that we got a new strength coach and our 4th in 5 years technically. But people were kind of like, yeah, didn't want to see something about that. It's like, no, we broke the news. Don't you care? Where's the red lights? Where's the alerts? Like, we didn't break the internet. It's just so anyway. It's humbling. It's humbling.
Bro, it's the strength and conditioning coach. It's not like Jamal Mosley got replaced, dude. Like,
now you're doing it. Now you're deflating too. I'm getting
cool.
All sides.
It's cool, and I do think it should.
Yeah, you broke news.
No. I think it should have had more traction. I think the way you discovered it was pretty dope. Like the work you put into it. So like obviously like there's your props, but ultimately I think the average fan, there's diehards that were into that, like for sure. The average fan does not care. they can't even tell you the assistant names, the assistant coaches' names, and how long they've been with us, let alone, and some casual fans can't even tell you the head coach's name, let alone the assistant coach's name, right? But I think that's why you didn't get it like the mass floods. It definitely stirred up some conversation. There were some retweets. There were some, little bit of conversations about it. But ultimately, I think, it just is not news. It's like, it's definitely something, but is it anything? Right.
It's absolutely something. That's the thing. I mean, there still hasn't been a news release.
There's not going to be a news release. The Magic aren't going to do that. They don't do that for half the positions that changed.
There's a news release with Nathan Spencer. There's a news release when David Tenney was the news release when Luke Story was hired. There's news releases that happen and stuff. They release.
Who is a part of half those news releases? It's not even Orlando. When we had. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, what I was saying is it's not even. It hasn't even yet been Philip Rossman Reich official. Like Orlando Magic Daily hasn't even written an article yet about the new strength coach. That's how below it is. Like another week goes by and stuff. It's all kind of tongue in cheek, but it's just we report like some of the most mundane things. Like literally Kevon Harris or Drake Jeffries. Who's that? Yeah, exactly. He's the guy that we just signed. Training camp invite that are reported and have articles. If you search their name, there's stuff on the internet about it. You search Todor Pandov's name, the latest stuff is all from me. No one else is saying jack and spit. It's hilarious. Even 2 weeks later. So it's just, I don't know. It's interesting to me. So
you should write
shows where I am in the pecking order, which I appreciate because my head can get big. As you know, I'm a blowhard.
Malik, you know what? This is people giving you your space to really elaborate on it in a bigger way than just a couple retweets and some screenshots. You're just going to have to write out an article about this on why it's news. People don't know it's news because they don't know that it's news. They need you to explain to them why it's news. So
for the proper context.
Yeah,
you're right.
You're right. More than just the little, 240 characters were allowed on Twitter.
That's right. That's the thing. You got to write the real articles. And in the past, we've written some great content for Close Up Magic. We're going to do more of that coming up. Obviously, training camp, that kind of stuff coming up. So that's definitely a good kind of push in the back to kind of continue to increase ourselves as we've gotten more back into video. And like I said, a lot of fun stuff that we think is coming on the horizon for the Close Up Magic. Really enjoy really enjoy the engagement, people, the back and forth, even the disagreements and stuff. But yeah, that's a good point, man. I like where your head's at.
I think you got to write an article about this. The people need it. They need to know it's news. I think it was clear by this episode we were in the dog days, and I promise not all episodes are going to be as kind of randomly pieced together as this one. We have some great things planned for later this summer. The next couple of weeks are going to be fun. We have some great guests lined up this week or these coming weeks, these coming months, and then training camp is going to be right around the corner in a couple of months. It's exciting times, and we appreciate you listening. We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you. See you next week. Peace.